It's 6:17. You're watching Wake Up Northwest, and in this week's Madeline Motivates. Now that many workers are encouraged to start working from home during the coronavirus pandemic, the question is, how do you stay motivated outside the traditional workplace? And so that's why we have someone who is locally impacted by this outbreak. We have Jason McShane. He's the Engineering Operations Manager with the Kennewick Irrigation District. And you've been forced to work from home for the past couple weeks, right, Jason?
Yeah, that's right. So I just actually returned to the office yesterday.
Okay, so you came back to the office, but in those 2 weeks, I'm curious, can you provide some tips when it comes to transitioning from your work in the office to work in the home setting?
Yeah, it is quite challenging. You know, when you're used to going to work, you have a set routine. You know, maybe you go and get breakfast in the morning, and then you show up and you be in your work day.
You get dressed.
You get dressed and everything like that. And so, you know, for me, looking at work from home, I tried to very much make it similar as much as I could. And so getting up in the morning, getting ready just as if I was going to be going to work, and then setting a set schedule that I'm starting at this time and working through all the way until lunchtime, and then taking a break and then going back to work again.
And that's a good way to keep yourself on track and to track your progress, I'm sure. So I guess my question is, when you keep that schedule for yourself, it's got to be a little bit different because you're not meeting with people in person. You don't have the ability to speak with coworkers and to ask for advice and direction. How did you go about that, not having that interaction?
Well, it was quite interesting for me. So I manage a group of over 40 people. And so being gone then for a 2-week period, was challenging for our team as well as for myself. They're used to being able to come interact with me. I'm used to being able to walk across the hall and get instant updates on things that are important to us.
Right.
And so having to schedule those times where you're checking in, setting up conference calling numbers and those types of things that we don't normally have to worry about was quite challenging this week. Yeah,
can you share any platforms that maybe you've been using to help with that communication?
So there's a couple of different things that we use. Our phone system had a built-in conference call center, so that helps. But there's, you know, GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar are two different types that we've used that have been successful for us.
So as an individual worker, I mean, you know, you don't have the boss standing next to you, making sure you're getting your work done. So how do you individually stay motivated with all the distractions that might be at your house? I mean, especially you were telling me that your kids are home from school now. You have 5 kids, is that right?
Yeah, so we have 5 kids, and they started staying home from school yesterday. And so we have one that stays, 4 in school and one that stays home all the time. And it was quite challenging for her as she sees Dad at home and says, well, you know, Dad's home, we should be playing right now, right? And so it took a couple of days to get used to
Dad's working
right now, and he'll be out to play, you know, at some other time during the day.
Absolutely. I can imagine that would be hard, especially with 5 kids. So is there anything you did to just push yourself to get that work done in a timely manner?
You know, I think some of the things, and as a manager, you know, giving some advice to my own employees as they're starting to begin to work from home this week for KID, you know, is setting goals for yourself throughout the morning, right? That here's what I'm going to try to do between now and lunchtime.
This is my deadline for this project.
That's right, yeah. And trying to break those projects down into simple tasks that have a measurable goal that you can meet.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, we're going to talk to you more about this later this morning, but thank you so much for sharing your tips to stay motivated.
No problem. Thanks, Madeline.
Thank you. All right, it is 6:20, and you're watching Wake Up Northwest. We'll have more weather and news coming up after this.